Good evening. You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Sarawak is rewriting the geopolitical playbook on climate action by transforming its vast biodiversity into a high-value economic powerhouse. Launching the Malaysia Climate Change Institutional Assessment (CCIA) 2026 report in Kuching, Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Joritan Openg declares that ambition without clear laws and strong institutions will only lead to failure. By leveraging Sarawak's rights under MA63, the state can transform its natural resources into revenue through the establishment of a global diplomacy unit and the introduction of a pioneering carbon levy. With vast lands and autonomy, Sarawak will be able to project higher profits, ensuring local assets are utilized to its full potential while meeting national financial goals.
Such perspectives are useful as reference points while we continue to chart Sarawak's own pathway. For Sarawak, strengthening this institutional foundation is not merely administrative reform. It is a strategic investment in stability, competitiveness, and long-term prosperity.
A major pillar of this plan is the new carbon levy, a system designed with the World Bank to charge for pollution and attract global investors. World Bank lead economist Apurva Sanghi says this roadmap helps Sarawak manage financial risk while turning conservation into a profitable business model.
What it does is it provides a diagnostic of institutional strengths and gaps, structured reform roadmap, actionable recommendations that we have worked together with you, painstakingly divide them into short-term, medium-term, and long-term categories, and international experiences relevant to the Borneo State's climate programs.
Beyond local policy, the new Climate and Energy Diplomacy Unit will represent Sarawak in international talks, advising on green technology and major energy projects. The Premier stressed that the forests of Sabah and Sarawak are central to Malaysia's future, requiring teamwork to turn protecting nature into a financial opportunity rather than a debt.
Maka kita memain peranan bersama dengan international bodies macam World Bank. Bagaimana kita menguruskan aset kita. Dan ia hendaklah berteraskan kepada undang-undang antarabangsa dan juga undang-undang negara. Dan kita dengan kerajaan persekutuan kerjasama dalam kita menguruskan pengurusan hal iklim ini.
By linking carbon markets to international law, Sarawak is proving that protecting the planet generates real wealth and long-term prosperity.
Over to the war in the Middle East. U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. is prepared to fight a war indefinitely, using its virtually unlimited ammunition stockpiles. Military observers identified munitions availability, particularly air defense missiles, as a potential constraint in the ongoing U.S.-Israeli campaign aimed at toppling the Iranian government. On a Truth Social post, Trump dismissed those concerns, stating wars can be fought indefinitely and successfully with existing supplies, which he describes as superior to other nations' weapons. He adds that U.S. weapons stored abroad could also be redirected for Pentagon use.
The U.S.-Israeli attack began Saturday with a decapitation strike that killed Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and other senior officials, alongside calls for an uprising in Iran. Trump says the campaign exceeds expectations and predicts it will last only several weeks. Meanwhile, Iranian officials say they are prepared for a prolonged conflict by stockpiling long-range weapons in underground depots. The depth of the U.S. and Israeli munitions stockpiles remains classified, but military experts told Wall Street Journal that both countries are rapidly expanding high-end systems. Trump says U.S. stockpiles remain strong because he suspends direct military aid to Ukraine. American weapons continue reaching Ukraine, with European NATO members now covering the costs under his policy. In response, Iran launches missile and drone strikes targeting U.S. and NATO bases in the Middle East and Mediterranean, as well as energy infrastructure and shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a key maritime checkpoint.
New details are emerging from Tehran, where staff at the RT International Bureau says their headquarters was damaged in an explosion in a residential area. RT's head of bureau in Iran, Hami Hamidi, followed by producer Mustafa Kashani, described what they saw happened on the ground.
We were working in the office since the morning, like we do each day, and then around 1:30 p.m. we heard a very loud explosion close to us. We quickly evacuated the building. No one was left inside, as we were worried that our building might be hit, because anything is expected from the Zionist regime, and it doesn't matter whether it's a journalist or a family. I personally returned to our building. My office is on the 4th floor. The blast wave caused the windows of my office to be blown off and the walls to crack. The building behind our office, which was a 4-story structure, was completely destroyed. It's not clear how many people were inside. After all, it was a 4-story building, and there were always many people in it. It wasn't a military area either, because the area where we work is completely administrative and residential, not a military zone or a police station. Despite what U.S. President Trump says about help being on the way, I don't think this is what help looks like. This is more like damage. There is no help on the way. What kind of help are you providing? Every single person living in Tehran or other cities is suffering from this.
As you can see here, this is the RT office in Tehran. This is the director's office. The building next to us was hit by U.S. rockets. Thank God the director had a meeting today with the deputy foreign minister at the Iranian foreign ministry. He wasn't here when the bombing took place, but the office was heavily damaged. As you see here, U.S.-Israeli rockets hit near the office. This is an inhabited residential area. It is not a military or government area. As you can see here, buildings nearby are heavily damaged with broken glass and major destruction. The U.S. and Israel have always insisted that they are not harming the Iranian people. This destruction is a witness to their massive lies. This is a regular civilian house, and we are journalists whose office in Tehran was hit today by U.S.-Israeli rockets.
Back home, Malaysian police have uncovered a movement that intends to topple the Madani government. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, during the parliament sitting today, reveals that the movement is based in a foreign country and is backed by a Malaysian who currently remains anonymous. But he says that these claims are still under investigation.
Anwar adds the motive behind the movement seems to be rooted from the large-scale investigations conducted by the MACC.
Yang menyebut umpamanya untuk menghubungi semua media asing dengan strategi mempertikai usaha kerajaan, khususnya SPRM. Kemudian menggunakan kekuatan dan kontak dengan negara-negara luar dengan tujuan memberi naratif mempertikai kewibawaan negara Malaysia dan kerajaan.
Current investigations are being carried out under Section 124B of the Penal Code. At the same time, Anwar says report by the Special Committee investigating the share ownership issues involving MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Zambaki is expected to be completed this week. The government will first review the findings of the report before considering the need to establish a Royal Commission of Inquiry or RCI.
Cadangan Suruhanjaya Diraja bagi kita agak premature, terlalu awal, kerana pertama siasatan yang diketuai oleh Peguam Negara itu akan siap minggu ini, ya, dalam beberapa hari. Jadi kita tengok dulu apakah kemunasabahan rasional untuk melanjutkan dan dalam bidang apa yang diperlu diteliti. Jadi saya tidak menerima atau menolak, biarlah kita ikut prosesnya. Pertama, mendapat dulu laporan daripada Peguam Negara.
Earlier, the government announces the formation of a special investigation committee into the share ownership issue involving Azam, chaired by Attorney General Muhammad Dusuki Mokhtar. Bloomberg previously reported that Azam allegedly owns shares in a financial services company based on corporate filings.
A final-year university student appeared in a Kuantan court earlier today, facing severe penalties for allegedly desecrating the Al-Quran on social media. The accused, a student at University of Malaysia Pahang, Al-Sultan Abdullah, is charged with insulting Islam under Malaysia's Communications and Multimedia Act.
Under the current charges, the student faces up to 2 years behind bars and a massive fine of 500,000 ringgit. Defense lawyers are contrasting the prosecution's stance, revealing that the accused has a history of psychological issues dating back to his school years. They further pleaded for leniency, noting the student is still financially dependent on his father, a local fish farmer. The case stems from a February 25th arrest after a video circulated online purportedly showing a person stepping on the holy book. Prosecutors pushed for a high bail of 50,000 ringgit, arguing the offence has triggered widespread public distress. But the judge granted bail at 10,000 ringgit with the strict condition that the student must report to police every month. The matter is set to return to court on April 8th for further hearing.
Authorities in Sarawak are escalating the fight against transnational crime and illegal logging after a massive recovery of seized goods totaling over 18 million ringgit in February alone. General Operations Force Sarawak Brigade Commander SAC Lim Bak Pai reports 13 major successes stemming from 3 targeted operations, namely Ops Taring Chiller, Batas and Libas.
Under Ops Taring Batas, police arrested 6 foreign nationals and 1 local in Serian, Sri Aman and Bau for illegal entry and suspected smuggling of controlled goods. Meanwhile, Ops Taring Chiller saw 10 locals apprehended following raids across Saratok, Miri and Sibu. Officers seized over 136,000 kilograms of frozen products along with industrial forklifts, processing machinery and transport vehicles. In Selangor, Ops Taring Libas netted 2 men for illegal logging, recovering 26 logs and heavy machinery valued at over 2 million ringgit. From January 1st to February 28 this year, the Sarawak PGA Brigade recorded 113 cases with 95 arrests. The total value of seizures for the first 2 months of the year now stands at a staggering 77 million ringgit.
4 men, including a 17-year-old teenager, pleaded guilty at the magistrate's court in Shah Alam today to a charge of stealing a mosque donation box in Section 7 on February 22nd. The guilty plea was entered by R. Nishan Raj, K. Tineshwaran and S.R. Danesh, aged 22, 26 and 27 respectively, before Magistrate Muhammad Shafiq Sulaiman. The case is charged under Section 380 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum prison sentence of up to 10 years and a fine.
According to the charge sheet, the accused were found to have jointly stolen a donation box belonging to the masjid, estimated to be worth 2,000 ringgit at about 4 a.m. The court sentenced the 3 adult defendants to 6 months imprisonment starting from the date of conviction and imposed a fine of 4,000 ringgit each. They were also ordered to serve an additional 3 months in jail if they fail to pay the fine. As for the teenage accused, the court allowed bail of 1,500 ringgit with 1 surety and set April 28th for the submission of a social report by the Social Welfare Department before sentencing is finalized.
Get all the updates you need all in one app. TVS Inspire brings you live updates on events, news and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire, world on your screen, anytime, anywhere. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.